Hello everyone, my name is Mike and this is Matrix to Paradise. This channel I created to document my journey from the Matrix, which is a truck driving job for me right now, to my adventures overseas, my personal paradise, which is going to be traveling around the world, starting off in Southeast Asia, in Cambodia. And the reason I picked Cambodia is because Cambodia, I've been there before. I taught English there for 4.5 months back in 2019. And I had a blast, and it was the best thing I ever did. And I've been looking how to get back to traveling again since then. And this is what I'm doing. I'm saving up money to do this. So, anyhow, the last time I talked to everybody, I was in Salt Lake City at the Crete terminal yard there. And I'd gotten in there a little bit late, and I had to make a video, and it was a little dark there. But anyway, I had just dropped off the load from the water place, which was a total cluster. I just dropped off that load, and then I was gonna pick up another load the next day. Or no, I had already picked it up. I can't remember if I picked it up the next day or... No, I think I picked it up that night. Took out the... Let's see, where did I go to pick up this load? This load was picked up... Or no, I had a load going up to Portland. I'm sorry. So I picked up a load and I took it up to Portland. And I was talking about that in the last video. And how I was so happy I was going to Portland because at the Loves up there on Interstate 84, right as soon as you come into the Oakland area, Portland area, not Oakland, into the Portland area, right there in a place called Troutdale, there's a Loves there. And right next to that Loves is a place called Yu's Garden, which is the best Chinese food I think I've probably ever had. It's just awesome there. So I was able to stop there and get some Chinese food. Got some General Chow's chicken. It was outstanding. Anyway, so I went there. I picked up a load. I dropped off the load that I had from the... let's see, where did I got that stuff at? I picked that load up in West Valley. It's called West Valley, Utah. It's a little town right next. It's like in the Salt Lake area. I picked up that load in the morning, drove all the way up to a place called Boardman, Oregon, which has a Loves there. So it's about halfway between Portland and Ontario, Oregon, which is the total opposite ends of the state on Interstate 84. Pretty close to the end of the state right there. Because Portland, it still goes a little further down. But 84 stops, as far as I know, right there at Interstate 5 in Portland. So it's like across the state. Anyway, so I stopped at Boardman, Oregon. And stayed overnight there. And it was the next morning I got up. Now, see, the next day, which the next day was the 27th. So I got up there on the 26th to Boardman. On the 27th, I woke up in the morning, took that load in, dropped it off. Can't remember where the hell I dropped it off. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I dropped it off someplace. So it's up there somewhere. I don't know where it's at. Dropped that off, and then it was only 10 minutes down the road. It was right close where I got live unloaded there, and then live unloaded, and then a live load at my next stop. So I was thinking, oh man, this is going to take all day. Because usually if you have a situation like that, you might as well just cash it in and say you're going to be there all day. Because it's going to take 2 or 3 hours for them to unload you, and then you have to drive over there and take 2 or 3 hours for them to... That's 6, 7, 8 hours right there. So I was thinking I was going to have to find a parking spot, later in the afternoon in Portland, which is a disaster. It's a pain in the ass there. But luckily, that wasn't the case at all. I got into the first place, and it was like Both places I went to were like, the second place where I got live loaded was a little bit bigger place. But the first place I went to was a small place. In those, it's kind of like a business park kind of place. And the place that I was going to only had like 4 doors where they were loading. So I was able to, it was insulation. That's what it was. So anyway, I went in there and I talked to the guy in the shipping department. He's like, yeah, back into door number 4. So I was like, okay. So I opened the doors, backed into door number 4. Boom. He had me done in 45 minutes, an hour. I was done. I was like, whew, wow, this is great. And I had gotten there early because I had a 1 o'clock appointment. So I was kind of worried about that. I'm sorry. No, I was able to get there at any time I wanted to, but my next appointment was at 1 o'clock. So I was thinking, okay. So I got there about 10:30, and they started unloading in the morning at like 7 o'clock in the morning, but I wasn't going to be there that early because I wasn't going to leave Boardman that early. So anyway, I got done. He got done loading me about, it wasn't even 11 o'clock yet. And I was able to bolt out of there and go over to the next place. Excuse me. Went over to the next place that I was getting live loaded and went in there, and they were a little bit slower as far as getting me into a dock door, but not too much slower. And they wouldn't, when I got there, it was like 11:45 when I checked in there, and they're like, yeah, we can't really check you in until 12:30. And I was like, okay. So I just went outside, parked on the street, and then waited till 12:30. Well, about 12:20 I went in there, and here's somebody going right past me in the park. So anyway, so I went back in there about 12:20. They got me into a dock door, and the guy came out right away because there was a guy that's going to come out and put some places you go to, you just back in the door, they load it or unload it, whatever, and you take off and get your bills and you're gone. This place, they wanted you to go into the shipping office, then go back out there, open the doors, park into the dock. Then somebody comes out, they take one of your air hoses off and put a lock on it. Well, they put a lock on the trailer so that you can't take off. I guess they've had, some places must have had problems with people taking off before they were unloaded, and there was somebody in the back and they fell off. Who knows? But so they come out and they put a lock on your air hose so you can't take off. So it keeps it permanently braked, is what it is, because we have air brakes. So I waited for him. He came out. He was a great guy, the warehouse guy. He comes out, puts the lock on. We chatted for a second. He's like, I'll get you done real quick. I was like, thanks, man. That's great. So I was thinking, oh, here we go. So now if he can get me out of here quickly, because it was only like 12:45, and I wasn't even supposed to be there till 1. So I'm like, cool. So he goes in, bangs it out in like half an hour. I was like, awesome. So I go in and get my bills, come back in. By the time I left there and got everything out of there, it was like 2:30. Oh, wow, 2 o'clock, something like that. 2:30, right in that area. I was like, this is awesome. So I had to, where I was going to the Loves to get Chinese food, right next to there's a TA travel center where I had to get fuel because that's where they scheduled me to get fuel. My company tells you where to go get fuel and how much to get and all that. It's just, I wish they would just use Loves because that's all I use, but whatever. So I had to go to the TA, fill up my gas tanks, then go right next door and get Chinese food. And if any of you are truck drivers and you've been to the Portland, Oregon Loves there, now they built a brand new store there. The old store was pretty old. They built a brand new building, but the parking is still a nightmare. There's still not enough parking there. There's no real way they can make extra parking unless they were to buy the TA next door and knock it all down and make that all parking lot. There's no way. But it's packed. Every time you go in there, it's packed full. There's like no spots. So I'm not even thinking about stopping and staying there. So I still had time when I got Chinese food. I pulled around, and parked at a little spot right along the curb there in that Love's parking lot, and was able to eat my Chinese food. And then I was able to have enough time. I had like 4 hours left and only 2 hours and 30 minutes to go. And I was able to make it back out to Boardman and stay there the night. So I was like, this is a great day. Usually things don't happen that way. I mean, if any of you are truckers out there, you know what I'm talking about. You go into some place, you have it planned down, you want to turn and burn, get the hell out of there. Nope. They always make it a problem. It's either the shippers or the receivers or something goofs up, and it's just like forever. And time spent is always your enemy. So that day, for some reason, the good Lord was looking over me and let me get out of there and get Chinese food and get to Boardman. I was happy as hell. I couldn't believe it. I was happy. So then that load that I picked up is my final load until I go back to Phoenix and get just take a couple days off. I'm going to take like 6 days off just to relax, get my clothes washed, the whole 9 yards. Just get myself squared away, clean the truck out. Not that it's dirty in here, but it gets dusty, and I want to wipe things down and get things good because I'm living in here. Get my bedding washed, all that stuff. So, so I drove from out to Boardman, like I told you, stopped over there the night of the 27th. Back, I was parked almost in the same exact spot I was in when I left that morning. I went back there, and there was still plenty of spots, so I was happy. So I left there the next morning, and I stayed in a place called Jackpot, Nevada. So you drive out of Boardman, you go over this mountain range in eastern Oregon called the Cabbage. We all nicknamed it the Cabbage. I don't know why, but that's what they call it. And so I went over that mountain range, went through Ontario, which is the first town in Oregon when you cross over from Idaho on Interstate 84. Stopped there, got some chow. Drove all the way down to a place called Jackpot, Nevada. Got to Jackpot, Nevada, which is just a little town right on the Idaho border. Well, since Nevada has legalized gaming, everywhere where there's an entrance into the state, there's a town there with gaming going on. So like if you drive out of Utah on Interstate 80, right across the border right there is a place called Wendover, and there's a town right there with the casinos and all that. And then Jackpot, a smaller town on US 93, place called Jackpot, like I said, is right on the Idaho border, and they have a couple casinos there, and it's a little casino town. Now, I didn't go to the casinos. I just stayed at the Loves there. They built a brand new Loves there. It's beautiful. So, and what a strategic place to put a Loves too, because a lot of people coming down to Phoenix or out west, but out east, they like to go down that way instead of going through Salt Lake, because if you could drive all the way down 84 and hit Interstate 15 and then go down through Salt Lake. But going through Salt Lake is a pain in the ass, because Salt Lake is the metro area there is so long. It's like 150 miles of driving through the city, and it's a pain in the ass because that's the only thoroughfare really through there, and it's packed all the time. So I hate driving through Salt Lake when I'm trying to go through. When I'm trying to go there, I don't, it doesn't matter then when I'm going to Salt Lake. But driving through it, I'll drive down 93 all day. So if you drive down 93, it ends down here. Not really ends, but it's the little road 93 stops and becomes, a bigger road, Interstate 15, and then 93 picks up again once you go through Las Vegas and then down to Arizona and goes to Kingman. And then from Kingman, it goes all the way down to Wickenburg. So anyway, I took 93 all the way down from Jackpot, Nevada, which is all the way in the top of Nevada. Now, if you see Nevada, it's a big, huge state. From the north side all the way down to Las Vegas. That's a long way. It's like, I think I drove 490 miles today so far. I might take off later. But I drove down from Jackpot, which is a wonderful drive. Now, it's not like it's so beautiful. I love the mountain ranges and stuff during that whole time through there. There's not a whole lot of trees. It's all desert out there, but it's beautiful in its own way. But also, it's lonely. It's wonderful. There's no cops hardly out there. There's no traffic out there. It's like you're driving out in the wilderness, and it's awesome. Yeah, just cruise along, listen to your tunes, or listen to... Now, if you're trying to get internet connection out there, it's kind of bad. So I just usually listen to an Audible book or listen to tunes or whatever, and no, don't even worry about it. But anyway, so right now I'm stopped here in a place called Apex, which is where 93, US 93 and Interstate 15 connect. Right where they perpendicularly connect, and it turns into 1593, I guess. There's a Love's right there at that corner. And it's in North Las Vegas, like past Las Vegas. It's up the way if you're driving towards Salt Lake. So I'm just 10 miles from Las Vegas, downtown Las Vegas. So I lived in Las Vegas for many years, 15 years, I think. I miss Las Vegas big time, but now it's stupid expensive to live there now. It's ridiculous. It's becoming like LA, because all of them are moving over here and buying houses. It's just stupid. I wouldn't want to live here now because everything's changed, and it's totally different, and it's way more expensive. The house we own there, my ex-wife and I, we bought it for $205,000, sold it 2 years later for $265,000. Now it's worth over $500,000. So I'm like, it's just ridiculous. So I'm here at Apex, Nevada, and I'm contemplating, I might leave and just take off and go to Kingman, because it's only a couple hours away, and I still have plenty of time on the clock. I'm just contemplating it. I might go down there, because lately, for some reason, there's been a lot of parking spots available in most of the truck stops. Now, some places, obviously not. Some of the really busy places, you're not going to find parking spots. Like in Portland, there's only a couple truck stops there, and to try and find a truck stop is stupid. A parking spot in one of those, it's you got to get in there at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, when people are leaving, because they fill in real fast. But it seems to me like most of the, not downtown huge monster city areas, the truck stops aren't as packed as they usually have been. And I think that even if I leave right now, probably won't get to, because right now it's 448, I think it is, it's 448 in Kingman. It's going to take me 2 hours to get down there. It'll be almost 7 o'clock at night. There'll still be a parking spot in there. And if not, there's a Petro down the way. I think it's a Petro down the way that has a million spots in there. I don't know. I've never seen that place packed down on Interstate 40 right there in Kingman. But anyway, so that's where I'm standing. Then tomorrow, of course, I'm going to take this load from wherever I'm parked. If I stay here tonight or if I stay in Kingman, I'm going to take this load all the way down to Casa Grande, Arizona, drop it off at the Walmart distribution center there in Casa Grande, and then I'm off for 6 days. So I'm going to get my stuff done, and I also got to go in and do my taxes. I was going to do them on TurboTax, but they want this crazy information that I don't know what the hell about my last returns, and I don't know where I put that paperwork at. I'm just going to go down to I usually go to Jackson Hewitt. There they have a little kiosk in the grocery store down where I'm living in South Phoenix, or staying when I stay in the yard down the road from there, they have a kiosk in a grocery store. I'll just go down there and have them do my taxes real quick and get it over with. So then I'll get my taxes done, and then I got to get my clothes washed and all that stuff, and just have some time to relax. It's been 6 weeks of driving, so it's time. I need to, and I was figuring it out. Listen to this. So this 6 weeks is done. I'm going to take the first week of February is pretty much going to be vacation. Then the rest of February, the rest of March, I'll probably take vacation again in the beginning of April. So that's one little time out. I'm counting down to the last couple 6 weeks periods that I go out to drive. So that'll be one right there. April, I'll take my next, the first week in April, I'll take my next little vacation, little time off. Then you go the rest of April, May, take 1st of June off, and then I'll decide then. So that's two different, let's see. So February to April. Yep. Then April to June. That's 2 6-week periods I'll be out driving. And then I'm going to make an assessment. I'm going to take some time out, take 4 or 5 days off, or 5 or 6 days off in June, and decide whether or not I want to go out on one more 6-week run, which I probably will. I'm probably thinking I'm going to, and go out June, July, come back in August, and we'll see where I stand. And I'm pretty sure I'll be leaving right around there. So there we are, and if I feel the need to go out on one more after that, it's not going to be over the time period. I will not be here on Thanksgiving, so I will not be in this country on Thanksgiving. Not because I don't want to be, it's just because I want to get going with what I want to get going with. I just want to get this done, saving money, because truck driving, like I said, is very unhealthy. And you don't get to walk, you don't get to exercise hardly at all. And when you're done driving 10 hours a day, you're done. You really are. You're tired out. I'm too old to be doing this. I want to have some time off, go to the gym every day, and enjoy life. And so if it means to be a little more safe to do another little stretch for another 6 weeks, it's not that much of a sacrifice, because like I say, I actually do enjoy the job, but I know that I can't do this for another year or two. I can't just arbitrarily say, I'll just do it for another year. No, I can't. I got to get this done. So I'm getting really close to my goals as far as money-wise is concerned. And I just want to make sure I have the backup in case I have to have any emergencies go on. Just be safe, and then really sit down and think, be honest with myself about what I will spend over there, and just be honest about it. And it never hurts to have more money. It won't. I don't want to take another year and do it. My brother was suggesting to me when I talked to him last, he's like, well, why don't you just stay for another year? You can, you could get yourself up to $100,000 or something, whatever. I was like, no, I don't want to spend another year. I don't want to waste more time. Time is not infinite. Your time on earth is ticking down. I don't want to waste any more time doing, working. I want to spend time doing what I want to do. So the more time I spend working, the less time I'm going to have at the end of my life to enjoy what I want to do. So I want to get it. If I can get to the point where I'm safe in my mind with the amount of money that I've got, and I can honestly say to myself and be honest with myself that I can be frugal to the point where I can make that last until I get Social Security and all that, then it'll be good to go. Anyway, that's I'm just blowing off stuff that's on the top of my head about my journey and my plans and where I'm at in my brain. So it's going good. Everything is going great. I made bonus. So another quarter, I can make another bonus. That's another $1,000. It's just wonderful. As long as I keep kicking butt, which I am, I'll keep making bonuses. That's an extra $1,000. I mean, you can't beat that. So things are going good. Anyway, I won't bother you anymore with this, rattling on. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you again soon. Please, if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe. Subscribing really helps out the channel. I appreciate it. If you know anybody else that likes this kind of content, escaping the matrix, truck driving, moving overseas, inspiration for that, any of that stuff, please pass it on to them, and I'd be much appreciative. I will talk to you guys again soon. A couple days. I'll be probably on vacation. I'll check in there sometime, and I will talk to you then. Have a good night and be safe. Bye now.